has enjoyed all through the years are the results of a strong religious upbringing and a sound educational policy second to none in any part of the world. Since attaining independence, every Barbadian has had the benefit of free education from elementary to tertiary level. His Excellency, the Right Honorable Errol Walton Barrow, the first Prime Minister of Barbados, mandated that education and health were important provisions to put in place and made accessible to all. In doing so, Barbados has seen the growth of a highly literate population with a high literacy rate and health care available to all. When we look back over the years, there's much for which we must all be thankful for the island many call home. As a small economy nation with very limited resources and relying more and more on the fragile industry of tourism, Barbados has endured and made great strides because of its greatest resource, its people. Barbadians have generally always been religious or hold to high moral ideals. Barbadians are resourceful, hardworking, resilient, creative, and industrious. It is because of these characteristics, among others, that as a relatively young nation, Barbados has held its own in the most competitive world community. We can attribute its achievements to the very stable and strong government we have always had, before and particularly since achieving independence. It speaks volumes when one considers that in 44 years as an independent country, we have had only 6 prime ministers, and now the 7th prime minister as the result of the untimely death of the late David Thompson. I earlier indicated that Barbadians are religious and that there have been significant changes on the island as to how many people identify themselves as non-Christian. Notwithstanding that factor, there have been implanted in most Barbadians Christian, other religious and moral values that have been of great benefit for the present and future. Most Barbadians at a young age attended Sunday school. Whether it was in an Anglican, Roman Catholic, Methodist, Moravian, Baptist, Pentecostal, Church of God, AME, Seventh-day Adventist, or any other church. In years past, this was reinforced in the school system in which religious education was a mandatory subject. Barbadians were provided with strong values from early childhood, and no doubt these values and life skills have been the foundation upon which life in general was built and the national future guaranteed. Our celebrating 44 years of nationhood requires us to give thanks to God for the lives of many, past and present, who have contributed to the growth and development of our nation state. I am not only speaking of politicians, as we are inclined to think, but of the many people in all walks of Barbadian life, who by hard and honest work have made possible what the current generation of Barbadians now enjoy. Many a parent made great sacrifices to see their children educated. People in the village were generous and bartered as a way of community living. The adults in the community believed that every child in that community was theirs to speak to and to discipline if necessary. There were many who contributed to our country's development and growth, selflessly and sacrificially. All Barbadians can be justly proud of their country's achievements and the contribution that it is making to the advancement of life in the Caribbean and world community. Barbadians in the diaspora must also recognize the important role and responsibility they have to their adoptive country as well as to their island home. We must always remember that everything we do, how we live our lives in our adopted country, reflect on our Barbadian heritage. It is therefore important that we not lose any opportunity to contribute in varying ways to the ongoing development of our island home as we are able. Barbados has developed and made great strides in the nation because of hard work and dedication by many, including those persons in political office. And I want to say a word about political office and those who serve the public. Public service is an honor and privilege that requires hard work. Many can legitimately fault politicians on a number of things. Yet, we ought not to be self-righteous and ourselves admit that many of us have some of the same faults and shortcomings. Politicians need to be given their due as hardworking and often serving their people well. They do so sometimes at personal sacrifice as well as that of their families. We owe a debt of gratitude to those who serve in public office and for making themselves available to their constituents and country in what some may describe as a thankless job. The same may also be said of other occupations, but there is a tendency for us to stereotype politicians in a way that does not always reflect our appreciation of their true commitment to serving their countries and their communities. I'm not suggesting that we be indifferent to negative behaviors or decisions that were or are made simply for what is expedient. But let us acknowledge the contribution and hard work carried out by those who serve as public officers.